one of the things I hear as I go around the county frequently is people get elected to these offices and sometimes will disappear. And you don't see them and they don't have interaction with the public and so on and so forth. And we get it, it's tough to hold elected office. But Judge Voodrey has never been accused of that. I have come to be consider him a close friend. I was a history professor. He thinks he was. Right? And he goes everywhere. He is a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. I know that being judge is nonpartisan, and I appreciate that the Democratic Party judges continue to do that. So I just want to tip my hat to him for all that he does for the party, for the bench, and the respect he brings to all that he does. Yeah.
Let me just say, in terms of being a real Democrat,
Yeah.
he maybe before he became a judge, but he used to drive around with the Kennedy Johnson bumpers.
Yeah, I know. I still have one of those. It was funny because I was a 4-year-old when Teddy Kennedy ran against Jimmy Carter, and the judge can tell you he was in high school and supported Carter. I was 4, but supported Teddy Kennedy. So
I was one of 3 of my high school on the We Like Jimmy committee.
there you go. Yeah. So at this point, I want to turn it over again. I'm the chair of the County Democratic Party. The best decision I've made as chair of the party was on the day I got elected. I got to choose my executive vice chair, the number 2 of the party. And here she is, my good friend. We should probably recognize the great Rob Zimmerman, who is finance director for the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party. Yeah, there you go. But I want to turn it over now to State Rep Vice Chair Juanita Brent.
Juanita.
Being here in Cuyahoga County, we have a lot of judges, probably more than any other county we have in the state. But one thing that's been very consistent, who's building relationships, who sends you notes when you have interactions, who comes to your office in shadows, who shows up to your gym clubs in off seasons, who's always supportive, Judge Voodrey. There's a lot of people that want to be elected. There's even more people that want to be judges. But not everybody's interested in building relationships and making sure that people feel seen and making sure that the bench is not a cold place. So I know when people go before him, they're not just seeing a robe, they're feeling their heart of him. Anybody I've met has always talked about how he keeps showing up. Most judges, Rock might be mad when I say this, we help get them elected as a party and then we don't see them. He keeps showing up. He keeps showing up. No matter what's going on. It was a time our veterans were having an event and they changed up the dates. And I was closing up the office and Judge Voodrey showed up. This is even after they changed the dates. Because he shows up even when he's not asked to show up. All the time. We need more people in office who's gonna show up no matter if they're asked or not. If a person only shows up when it's time for them to run for office, I don't want them. I'm tired of those type of people. I want more Voodreys. I need more people to look in the mirror and be like, how can I be more like him? I'm very serious with that. And I'm gonna just tell you about an experience, and I haven't said this to the judge, but I'm gonna say this now because it's time to get mushy with it.
Brace yourselves, everyone.
When I first got elected, and it was right after, people kind of congratulate you. He sent me this card. There was a beautiful black woman on the card. And it was a handwritten note about congratulating me for all of my hard work, the thoughtfulness. And those cards have never stopped. So anybody in this room has ever received a card just for the thought of it, because he leads with his heart. And so I'm so proud that the man who leads with his heart is also serving on the bench. You gotta make sure he stays on the bench. So as we go along this journey, I wanna bring my good colleague, County Councilwoman Meredith Turner, up here so she can share some words about the judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, my representative. Would acknowledge Bob Brown when you talked about notes. You made me think about Sherrod Brown, who I had the good fortune to work for over a decade.
I learned from the master.
Right? This is a little different. This is actually for the judge. And I want to dedicate this to you. Thank you. This is called A Bridge Worth Crossing. Okay. Good evening, friends. Some lives are built like ladders, quick climbs, narrow rungs, eyes fixed upward. Others are built like bridges, anchored on both sides, tested by weight, meant to be crossed again and again. Judge William Voodrey is a bridge. Before the road, there was grounding. Before the bench, there was balance. A boy where work mattered. A boy raised where work mattered. Where fairness wasn't debated, it was expected. East Liverpool shaped the grain of wood. Oberlin set the compass. Not merely a school, but a place where conscience was taught aloud, where doors opened early and courage arrived before consensus. A place that formed abolitionists and later jurists, including those who would rise to the highest court in the land, all shaped by the same insistence that the law must be lived and not merely learned. That understanding traveled through classrooms, through courtrooms, into rooms where voices were absent and the stakes were real high. He learned the law from both sides of the aisle, from those who needed, defended, those who demanded accountability. And when Stephanie Tubbs Jones placed her trust in him, she was not offering position, she was assigning responsibility. She recognized what steady hands look like, what quiet rigor sounds like, what it means to serve without spectacle and decide without fear. Many of us were shaped by that same hand, guided, challenged, believed in. Her legacy didn't move in a straight line, it moved through people, through rooms like this, through moments when preparation met purpose. Years passed, cases came, precedent followed. Not by volumes, but by clarity. Not by noise, but by reasoning sound enough to stand. 21 times, the law paused and said, "This one holds." Yet the measure of a judge is never found only in record books. It is found in tone, in patience, in the discipline to listen, and the restraint to rule. Some benches bend under pressure, some crack under opinion, some chase applause. This one holds. And so we arrive here not to imagine, not to speculate, but to renew what has already been proven. A bridge does not ask for praise. It only asks to be trusted. Friends, this moment calls for steadiness, for experience earned, for judgment forged, not rushed. It is my honor to introduce a man shaped by foundation, guided by principle, and worthy once again of our trust. Please join me in welcoming Judge William Voodrey.
All I can say is, wow. How can I possibly follow that? Well, I'm gonna. It's great to have you all here this evening. I want to acknowledge all of our electeds. I really appreciate you being here. I am deeply mindful of how much a difference it's made to bring me to this point, to bring Susan and me to this point, and to have the chance to be on the cusp of a second term. I want to acknowledge the many candidates who've been here as well. Some of them had to come and go because, of course, there are a million other events this time of year. I want to thank 4 extraordinary women in my life. First and foremost, my wife Susan, who has been who has been my rock, my advisor, my companion, my best friend. We've been married now more than 35 years. Brought 3 wonderful sons from the world. We're empty nesters now. It's official. It's a very bittersweet experience, but also an extraordinarily canny political advisor. I've not put a foot wrong when I listen to her. So thank you. I would also like to acknowledge my campaign treasurer, Sharon Watts. Very grateful to her for her help. My bailiff, Alfreda, and my staff attorney, Nancy, who is hiding somewhere. There she is. They say behind every great man is a great woman rolling her eyes. I'm not a great man, but I had 4 great women here helping me, as well as all the other great women here, and I'm very grateful to you all. I was elected in November of 2020. It brought me into the greatest job I've ever had. I was sworn in on January 3rd, 2021. 3 days later, our country changed forever. And we learned as an insurrectionist mob stormed the Capitol just how delicate the rule of law is, just how delicate the structure of American democracy is. We learned then, and we've learned since, the vital importance of an independent judiciary, deciding cases without fear or favor, bias or prejudice, seeing that justice is done day in and day out, treating people, some of whom you're seeing on their very worst day, treating them with courtesy, with respect, acknowledging our common humanity. And it has been the great culmination of my life that's brought me to this point among friends, among supporters. I'm deeply grateful to have you all here. And I hope, with your help, to win a second term and to keep doing this vitally important work. I'd like to read you a little bit from a letter I got from a prisoner not long ago. I don't know if you remember me or not, but I told you that I would write you about my appreciation for you, and I'm here to keep that promise. First and foremost, I appreciate your tone, the tone in which you didn't categorize me. When you spoke to me, regardless of what my charges were, you spoke to me as a person, a human being, and for that I thank you. You're the first judge I've ever encountered to ever do that. I've been to multiple hearings in my lifetime. I've seen multiple people get treated a lot differently than you treated me in your courtroom. That is one thing I'll never forget. Secondly, I appreciate the respect. When I say respect, I'm speaking of the moments where you did not take my dignity based off what a piece of paper said about me, or based off what a man had to say about me, good or bad. The moments where you didn't reopen the gash of humility that I brought upon myself, when you very much could have. Even when I showed my own humiliation, you reassured me that mistakes happen, that mistakes can be corrected. I appreciate you speaking to me like a man and not a criminal. I appreciate you for being fair. If I could run back the hands of time and take it all back, I would. But knowing I cannot do anything different, I'm glad to know that you are the one who had judgment over me. I will take this time to better myself. I'm not going to do this time in prison. I'm going to use it. That is the kind of letter. That is the kind of letter that makes this job worthwhile. That's the kind of letter which leads to so many people wanting to run for judge, because it is a great job. It is a great chance to uphold the rule of law, to interpret the law, to help people down the path of life, and hopefully make better choices. And with your help, I hope to win that second term. I'm very grateful to have you all here tonight. Happy holidays. Thank you. Plenty of food. Help yourself. If you don't have a drink yet, please see me.